being clear on what it is that you want before you just say, desperate, desperate, desperate. How do you like it? Get on the same page about things like money.
And it's that time of year when we wonder if he or she loves me, if he or she loves me not. We're talking V-Day stuff here. And in actuality, it really doesn't matter if they love you or if they love you not. It's really about self-love and self-culture. So we've come to the expert on finding your own self-culture, the author of Find Your Self-Culture, Victoria Lorient-Faibish.
It used to be a sort of a thing that said if you're single at Valentine's Day, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I mean, today I think it's a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
What I see in my practice are some really empowered women who are really pretty much about it's my choice whether or not I'm single.
That's true.
And it's my decision whether I decide to enter into the couple experience.
Yes.
And it doesn't make me any less of a person of value to be single. So I just want to empower everybody who's single. Wait for the right person. Don't be settling, being clear on what it is that you want before you just say, desperate, 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 I'll fill my space with just about anybody.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So practical things, because it could be, and I love the way that I love the paradigm that you put it in, because that's truly the new empowered single, and that's what it's all about, making the right decisions.
Yeah.
But we are still bombarded with, you walk by a store, everything's V-Day. We all know it's kind of hallmarky, but
it's just a commercial holiday, people. This is not... what I notice, a lot of people get engaged around the holiday time and around Valentine's Day because somehow people are at the mercy of all of this sort of stuff. So now, sort of right now, as we're entering into the springtime, it seems that everyone is sort of going down that whole road of, I should be in a relationship. Or if they are in that sort of way, they got engaged, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? Now I've got engaged, now what?
And then we're going to be talking about that throughout our conversation.
Exactly.
We're going to touch on that.
Exactly.
So practical things that we should be doing. For me, I'm probably going to buy myself probably a pair of Prada shades and finding a Caribbean vacation. I'd buy something for myself. I think that's nice. But you don't have to be materialistic. But what do you suggest? Going to a spa? What are practical things just for those people who really, because there are some singles, you could be empowered, but you still feel like you're missing out on something.
I really feel like you don't need to be, giving into, therapy through shopping as your as your your methodology to feel good. Although if you want to do that, and if you have the money to do it, and I'm all about not living in debt and not living beyond your means, but if you can and want to, go for it. However, I think that a person can do a lot of work internally because the way you think on a regular basis forms the habits, forms the neural pathways, and those habits form your character. And so if you're constantly having a dialogue with yourself that is all about denigration, that is what forms your negative character. So I'm all about change the habits, change the day in, day out. What are you saying to yourself?
Yes.
So if you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm a loser because I'm this and that and the other, I don't, what's wrong with me, etc., that's just going to really set you up for setting up your vibration, because our thoughts impact our vibration to attract that kind of energy toward you. So if you want to change what you're attracting towards you, change how you talk to yourself and really pay attention to your inner running commentary.
I like that.
And make your inner running commentary all about, I do this with my clients. I say, every day, every time you walk out the door, you need to say the words, I'm beautiful and everyone thinks I'm beautiful. And start with that. And just don't take my word for it. See how that impacts you. I'm beautiful and everyone thinks I'm beautiful.
I think
everybody say it together.
Okay, I'm beautiful and I know I am.
I'm beautiful and everyone thinks I'm beautiful.
And everyone thinks I'm beautiful.
Inside and out. This is not just about external beauty. It's inside and out. Okay?
Yeah, that mantra is something that I've had to do for a long time. I think it's so important, and I do it. That mantra, I do that myself a lot, especially being on camera a lot.
Absolutely.
You can get a little self-conscious, so it's important.
I'm lovable.
Yes.
And everyone thinks I'm lovable.
So something else that I want to get into as well. So we're doing this. We're building here. So the first thing for that was, you know, your advice for singles, for V-Day, look internally. Okay. So now I want to move into this notion of conscious coupling. Okay. Because that's really so from singledom we go into this notion of conscious coupling. So I mean, I never thought I would be quoting Gwyneth Paltrow ever in New Age conversations, but I have to give credit where credit's due, because she came up with this concept of conscious uncoupling when her and her husband divorced. Yeah. So now a lot of experts have kind of taken that term now, and I mean, some experts have argued that that all coupling is unconscious, and that really doesn't have to be. The true way to have something that's sustainable is conscious coupling. Yeah. So I want to know what your idea of conscious coupling is.
Well, the very term conscious, you know, meaning aware, shine a light on the darkness, shine a light on the stuff that you feel uncomfortable with. Just because a person feels uncomfortable doesn't mean you stay away from it. I have a lot of people that I work with that, like, I don't want to talk about that. That's uncomfortable. That makes me feel uncomfortable. Here's the news. Yeah. If it doesn't make you feel afraid, you're kind of not doing it right. Okay. Push the boundaries of getting clearer and clearer. If you're in a coupling situation, if you're in a relationship, let's face it, have the courage to be more and more authentic and more in touch with the depth of who am I really? And, you know, because if you just lie to yourself in terms of how you present yourself, or even lie to them and sort of present yourself in a way that you really aren't, in other words, you're presenting a show of who you are, it's going to catch up with you. And sooner or later, you know, 10 years down the way, or how many years down the way, you're like, oh, now I'm relaxed enough to be myself, and this is not really the relationship I want. So conscious coupling begins with have the courage to be truthful and to be your authentic self.
Your authentic self.
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay, so...
And if they don't like it, that's okay. Maybe you're not a match. And have the courage to not be in such a desperate place to say, maybe we're not a match.
I love that you always... I love that you always bring up the whole desperation thing.
Don't operate from desperate.
I like it.
But let's talk in detail. Let's actually talk in detail. For example, case study A. You know, she's an extrovert, he's an introvert. But she fakes or plays the role of being an introvert. So he's kind of all about quiet time at home, watching TV, you know, hanging out at home, doesn't want to go to the bar, doesn't want to go out, and she's like, loves to go out, loves to socialize, but she wants to be in this relationship. So it's all about no going out, hanging out at home, and just doesn't want, and just because, you know, let's cook at home. And, you know, she comes into the office and says, this is really tough for me. I really want to be, you know, going out more, and I want him to come out more. And I'm like, so go out. What's the problem? Why don't you just go, well, I want my boyfriend there. I'm like, whoa. Now we got to look at neediness, you know? Now we got to look at over neediness. It's like, have an independent life. Do what it is that you want to do. And, you know, it's okay to be with an introvert if you're an extrovert, if you allow for the introvert to just be who they are. Because let me tell you, introverts are not just being homey and introverted to annoy you. They're literally doing it because they need to heal themselves through time alone, through quiet time. And extroverts literally need time with people, socializing to feel okay as well. So we've got to honor each other's differences. And it only works if you do that. If you honor each other's differences.
And you honor your authentic self.
Yes.
I love the notion of the authentic self.
Listen, if you don't, who is going to, right?
I mean, that's true.
Right, you know?
And then case study number 2, I guess, or B, would be, I mean, for myself, like, I'm a very political person, and sometimes I date men who are not very political, and when I kind of discourse about certain things, I feel like I kind of like pull back a little bit, but then I let everything else kind of override that, which I think is a bit of a problem.
And do you find that you feel like you're missing out on that particular type of discussion?
Yes. But then what's the line of just being too picky or...
Agreed. You can't get everything from one person. So maybe you have friends that you get really political with, and that you have great passionate discussions politically, but with your honey, with the person in your home, you it's less about that, because you can't get everything from one person. There's this really kind of crazy notion that we can get everything from our partner, and I just think that just isn't realistic.
What are the key things that we should be getting from a partner?
Well, I think that the most important thing that leads us toward intimacy in a healthy way is feeling a sense that you can truly be yourself without judgment. You can just be yourself, you can let down, you can relax, and the person isn't going to monitor you, watch you, picking problems, picking details and issues. That is, and a person needs to not do that to the other person either. So there's got, for me, as I work and been doing this for 20 years with couples, and I've been in a 22-year marriage, what I really feel is most important toward creating a beautiful, intimate, long-term, passionate relationship that does not have any resentment. Yes, it is possible to be in a relationship without resentment, is to be in a place where you're not judging each other, where you're literally allowing each other to just be yourselves, each other. Okay?
What's a concrete example of judging?
So, physical judgment, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too this, you're too that, or what's wrong with you? Shaming type of words and sentences, having emotional affairs with someone at work, let's say, not a sexual affair, but an emotional affair with someone at work, and then you go home and you're all about judging the partner at home. Oh, I don't like how he looks, how he smells, how he this, how he that, how he talks, how he this, or how she this, or how she that. It's all about, and to me, when people are in judgment of the other person constantly, somehow they're feeling a lack within themselves. And you got to look at yourself. Always look at yourself in the mirror. Always look at yourself in the mirror, and I'm not talking about physically, that too, but look at yourself, your own flaws, your own issues, and handle your own self before you start judging the other person.
I also want to get into, because you touched on already, is intimacy. And I've had friends who are just beginning to couple, who talk about intimacy. I have friends who are already married, who talk about intimacy or lack thereof intimacy even in their marriage.
Right.
So, I mean, fundamentally...
Are you talking sexual intimacy or emotional intimacy, or both?
Do they go obviously, do they go hand in hand? Or is
I do believe so, but I think that people can create emotional intimacy, which will lead to better physical sexual intimacy. Sometimes it's the other way. Better sexual intimacy leads to really good emotional intimacy. So it's kind of like a two-way street, that one. It's definitely, and it's all about, again, honesty, trust. I got your back. Loyalty. There's no doubt that I have your back. There's no doubt that I'm going to shame you in a public forum, that I'm going to, betray your confidence or your trust. It's all about, and that, people who feel safe in those kinds of relationships, and then in bed, they're like, I like it more like this, I need it more like that, can you do that? So there's a real safety to say, without feeling afraid that the person's feeling offended, ego hurts because they were told what to do. People, allow your partner to tell you what to do, because they are the experts of their body.
That's true.
Let the expert of the body you're working on to tell you what's working and what's not, and don't get offended. That's just your own ego crap. Don't do that. That's really important. Let the other person tell you what to do. Ask the other person, is this good enough? How's this working for you? Do you like it? Like, I encourage couples to go to dinner outside of the bedroom and ask the very question, how do you like it?
Sorry, you mean just like at dinner?
At dinner.
Outside?
Draw a picture. Get comfortable. Get comfortable sexually. Yes.
And yes, now I understand that it truly goes hand in hand.
Yes.
And from what I'm gathering, it's about open, transparent communication as well.
Correct. And feeling a sense of loyalty and trust.
And trust.
Feeling safe enough emotionally that you don't feel judged by the other person. Because there's a ton of judginess out there.
And I mean, you definitely don't need that with your partner, like judgment, because I mean, you're facing that, like,
at the same time, it's okay to allow for dialogue about constructive criticism as long as it's asked for. Don't volunteer advice if it hasn't been asked for. You're not the person's parent, you're the person's partner. It's really important. Don't parentify your partner, and don't infantilize your partner. Don't treat your partner like a kid or like a parent, okay? So I like when couples ask questions like, what do you really think about this? And your opinion really matters to me. And then there's and I'm not going to get mad at you if you offer me an opinion that is maybe a little too honest. Allow for that. Be courageous. And then if, let's say, you do get hurt by the opinion, allow for the conversation to go, oh, that kind of hurt my feelings. Okay, we got something to work with when we're honest. We got nothing to work with when there's lies and just storming out the door and resentment and silent treatment and all of that. That just really doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
So, I mean, so we touched
emotional punishing is what that is, and it doesn't work. Really.
Now, I want to get on to one of your newer projects that you're working on right now, which is you're doing a complete relationship guide
Yeah, I'm working on a new book about this one's called Find Yourself Culture.
One of my favorite books. Very transformational, by the way.
Very transformational, and I'm working on a book on relationship culture. So it's going to take time. But first, before I finish that book, because the book is going to have about healthy dating, how to date in a healthy and empowered way. I've got a webinar coming up about that.
Yes.
And I'll do a couple of webinars about that, and then also premarital checklist. Like, what is the key checklist before you get married? I'm engaged. Now what? Well, you need a premarital checklist.
Yes.
Okay? And then once you're married, how to have a bona fide, long-term, passionate relationship that's conscious and that's passionate and that's free and trusting and all of those things. And then, people will have kids. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And also beyond kids, let's say, divorce happens, how to do that in a healthy way. I've mentored many a couple through a healthy divorce, and it saved the children a lot of heartache and their own pocketbooks a lot because they spend less on lawyers. Okay. So,
from what I want to go with you now is the premarital checklist.
Okay.
What does that entail?
Get it? You fall in love. You have a great, great dating time. You guys get serious. You want kids.
Yes.
You're in your, late 20s, early 30s, and it's time to couple down and get married.
Yes.
But I have couples that come to me, and we actually do 2, 3, maybe 4 excellent couple sessions where we get down dirty and honest about what the actual things people need to know before getting married. Get on the same page about things like money. Who's in debt, who isn't. How do you spend money? How don't you spend money? People are divorcing often because of money. And how people spend money, debt load, what's the debt load, what's the methodology to reduce the debt load. How to set up your bank accounts. I like things like having one joint account and 2 separate accounts. It's a detailed concept, but it really is really cool because you cannot be in denial about money. Money, to me, is a vibration that literally impacts everything.
Yes.
How we do some things is how we do everything, says T. Harv Eker from The Millionaire Mind. And it's all about your money blueprint, and your money vibration impacts absolutely everything. So get clear on that and make sure that whoever you're
getting clear
and get out of denial about how you're spending money and what's happening with your money generally and your bank accounts. The other thing that's really important is religion. It's a very touchy topic, but people don't talk about it. It's incredible how much I find people go, well, I don't know. It's like, well, how's your ceremony going to be? How are you going to bring up the kids? What's your relationship going to be to religion and day-to-day, day in, day out experiencing of that spirituality piece? So talk about religion. Hard topics, but do it.
That's very important.
Do it.
I've seen it for myself, how, at the wedding, some people are Christian, and then there's no Christian stuff in the wedding because somebody else is Muslim, and then Muslim takes up the whole ceremony, and then the Christian family feels left out, and it's all like...
No, but the couple itself in the wedding, by the way, should be the only ones that feel, that matter in that piece.
So really you have to get right with
money, religion, and get really clear on how many kids do you want? Do you want kids? Don't you want kids? Have that conversation. Also, urban life, rural life. I have a couple, he really wants the rural life. He wants them in a small town. She really, never leaving Toronto. It's got to be, all about the urban city. So how are we going to, come to a medium place about that?
Yes.
And not talking about that is not going to help. The other thing is, for example, case study A or B or C or whatever we're talking about here is, she's an extrovert, he's an introvert. I brought that example. Well, I thought it would change when we got married. Did it change? No. I thought it would change when we had our first child. Did it change? No. None of that. This is the personality style. The thing about this particular case study is more affection was what she wanted. More affirmation was what she wanted. He was more of an introvert. And men, I have to say, they tend to, whether they're introverted or extroverted, I've noticed, tend to heal themselves by going into a cave. They need that alone cave time to kind of man cave themselves. And case study C, let's just say, because we've done A and B. She extremely extroverted and it feels affirmed and feels good when he says beautiful thing. You're beautiful, affirmation, words, a lot of positive stuff. Now, 2 kids later, he's a busy guy at work he comes home and he wants to go into his cave. And I find that men tend to like that cave time, that introverted cave time. Whether they're an extrovert or an introvert, they tend to heal themselves through kind of going into that isolated place. And don't bother them during that time. Don't take it personally when they want to go in that cave. That's just part of their healing process. Women are different. They need to talk, and this is the difference between the sexes. This is very much where they differ. And if they take it personally, we've got problems. The question I asked this person, was he like this when you were dating? Yes. I thought it would change when we got married. The question was, did it change? No. They got married and it just got more intense. The bills got bigger. The responsibilities got more. The stress levels got more. All of these things became more intense, and he needed more cave time to heal and recover from his life. They had a second child.
Yeah.
The question was, did it change? No. So this was a person, a woman who did not honor and really remember and really notice and was in denial about who her partner is.
Being in denial about who your partner is.
You gotta not be in denial about who is really in front of you.
That's true.
And who's in front of you is this person.
But what do you do about that? Because recently I did that.
You deal with yourself. You get less needy. You figure out your own needs and you fill your own cup. You fill your own cup and create a sense of fullness for yourself. Don't be so dependent on the other person filling you.
I feel like I did the same thing. There's this one person, I just kept talking. I was so excited to hang out with them and talk to them. And they were just like, okay, just give me a break.
And stop talking.
Stop talking. I'm like, dry. What do you mean stop talking? So
because he's needing to, you got to understand there's a different kind of a personality going on.
So, but is that even a good match? If I'm an extrovert and they seem to be a bit of an introvert,
it's only a good match if you realize you can't get everything from him. If you need to be with your partner constantly getting affirmed and talking and getting affirmed, that's probably not a good match. You're right. If you can just chill out and let that person just be themselves, and when they're ready to speak, you can do that because you're matching at that moment. But if you need more, you can do one of two things: not be with that person, or go find that elsewhere in the form of your girlfriends, in the form of your activities, in the form of your interests and hobbies.
Okay.
But I don't think that just because somebody is different, it's not a good match. We can't be perfectly in sync and match.
And it's also
to be long term.
And it's also not just a corporate culture, but it's also work culture as well. When you're like, you have a lot going on during the day, and sometimes just to be quiet,
you need debriefing
time, which is usually spent alone as well. And as creatives, isn't even more difficult, because for me, I need to be alone a lot. If I'm writing or coming up with concepts, I have to be alone a lot, right?
Well, that sounds like a good match for someone who doesn't want to always be chatting.
Yeah, that is very true.
Take time to be on your own with stuff. Absolutely.
So, so this checklist, I'm going to recap it real quick. So the checklist is money, getting money.
Getting clear with your money, relationship,
with money.
Both of them on the same page. Religion. Children, relationship to family. Like somebody was like, I gotta be with my family all the time. Every single Sunday I'm having dinner with my family. And the other person's like, no. It's a 4 times a year situation, So that's important, to get clear. One person is very, very family oriented, one person is not.
That is so true, because I'm really close to my family. If somebody can't spend quality time with my family, I don't know.
That's right. So this is important. These are very important things to be very clear on. Some people are family, not interested. Maybe because of their own issues around family. But if the person is like, every single week I've got to be, or I cannot live unless I'm close to my family geographically, that also presents a problem.
I'm okay with being away. I think.
Well, let's say if you have a job transfer, you want to move to a different city, and then the other person is like, well, you know what, I need to be close to my family. Sorry, go away. See you later.
So then there's a family. Oh, that's so important.
Absolutely.
Okay, so those are the kernels.
Those are the key pieces when you're doing a marital checklist. And there are a few other ones. How do you do food and fitness? And somebody's a junk food addict. The other was like fitness oriented, and they don't want to sort of come to the middle here. This is really important. Also, you want someone who's going to be cheerleading you on your endeavors. You don't want someone who's super into fitness and is really trying to stay fit. And the other person is like, oh, I brought McDonald's. Oh, I brought this. Oh, I bought that. Or I brought pizza. Or I brought cookies. Or I brought. And it's like, why are you and the person is saying, I I don't want these things in my home, you know. And the other
like, I have to be on camera. I can't be eating that.
But the other person is saying, hey, well, it's my house too. I want to have my Oreos and I want to have my this.
They may have a faster metabolism than
I know. But what if that is really a problem?
Yeah,
so
you're right.
You got to compromise, and you got to get on the same page, hopefully, about what we're going to do about the food and fitness piece.
So what types of things do you think one could compromise on?
Every single one of these topics has room for compromise, but there is a line that is a no-go. If a person is comfortable with way too much debt and the other person is like absolutely no debt, where are we going to come to the middle on this? Maybe it's a question of what kind of debt. Maybe it's a question of no credit card debt and only line of credit debt. So, and it's a more constructive type of debt.
I like this. This conversation is so pragmatic.
Yeah,
and practical. I love this about it because a lot of times I feel like people are unrealistic. I know so many women who are just like, I'm getting married next year. Really? They don't have a partner in the space yet, but they're like, I just want to get married. I'm getting married next year. But I mean, these are...
Well, hopefully that person will take a year to really look at things like that I'm talking about.
These things, now that I know them as well, you have to keep these things at the forefront and have these open...
conversations.
It's open dialogue and
absolutely.
Open conversations. And I think a lot of times when, you want to be in love so badly that, like, you over kind of step those things, right?
But here's another really good one. Let's not forget pets or no pets. Some people are allergic. The other person can't live without their dog. Really important stuff.
You look at these things like, it's not that important.
Apartment, house. People are like, I'm a condo dweller. I'm a house dweller. How are we going to come to the middle on that? I mean, these are really, really important pieces.
Okay.
And it is an important... Compromise is important, but then you also have to be honest with yourself. Are you compromising so much that you're going to be unhappy?
Yes.
And that's just...
And this
is a bit of a balancing act that you've got to go through.
Truly also consciously stepping into marriage.
That's conscious coupling.
That's conscious coupling.
Yes.
Or stepping into marriage. Because, a lot of times we're not. I feel like we live in a very abstract world where things are just like, I'm just going to fall in love, and then love is just going to put everything together.
Ain't going to work.
And we can see it through divorce rates.
It's out of control.
That
we'll have less divorce if you have this process of premarital checklist, to really get clear on what's important, what's not.
Well, Victoria, we have new information now. All of your videos are very informative. We always get new information. So we have new information to move forward with 2015 with, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So what else is happening with you?
So basically, come to my website, visualizationworks.com. I will be talking about all these webinars I've got coming on, all these relationship topics I'm going to be really covering in my webinars. Also, I'm working on a book, so stay tuned. It'll take some time, but I'm working on my book on relationships, on all the stuff I'm talking about. So a book is due at some point next year.
And way more pertinent is February 13th, single lady, single man.
Oh yeah, follow us on Facebook. Okay, so
February
Twitter,
13th
at Self Culture now, and follow me on Facebook, Self Culture, and also on Facebook at my personal page, Victoria Lorient-Faibish, and you'll hear about all my webinars. And February 13th, I'm doing dating in the modern world, how to navigate dating in a healthy and empowered way, and it's free.
So how do they get onto the webinar, by the way? Like, what do you have to do?
Come onto my Facebook and you'll be able to sign up for it. It's really, really easy.
Okay.
The link is there.
So you have to sign
up, and
on
also
Facebook.
on my Visualization Works.
Okay, so we sign up and then we just log in at 11 a.m.
11 a.m. And the instructions are there.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm definitely in. I'm in 100%.
And Crystal's gonna share about it and talk about it, etc.
Share about it, talk about it. I'm a Victoria fan. This book here, if you don't have it yet, you need to go get this. Find your self culture. Get it. And it's very, very transformational, honestly.
And my meditation CD. It's a double meditation CD. So if you're looking to find a way to get really sort of more easy, user-friendly way of meditating, as above, so below. Really great. And you can get them all on my website, visualizationworks.com.
Okay. So thanks, Victoria. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.